Hello everyone. Today we are going to understand the history chapter number 7. But some of the new books, this is a chapter number 6. The name of the chapter is Weavers, Iron Smelters and Factory Owners. As soon as you open the chapter, you will see the nice picture of the Surat port. During the 17th century, this port was very famous. Through this port, British and Dutch were doing the trade. In these chapters, we will understand the story of the textiles and the industries. As you all of you know that industrial revolution was started in Britain and the textile industries and the production was mechanized by the Britain. Britain emerged as the industrial revolution country in the world, and also the iron and steel industry also flourished during the 1815s that time, and that's why the Britain came to known as the workshop of the world. But in these chapters we will understand the story, the golden period of India. Before the 17th century, India was having a tremendous success in the international market, and even the British and European countries were taking the goods from the India and selling to the Europe and Britain. But this picture was slowly changed after the industrial revolution. What are the effects happen on the India after the industrial revolution? And Britain and European countries saw the India as a huge market. So what and how this kind of the changes were happen, and what were the effect of such a kind of the industrial revolution on India, we will understand in this lesson. Indian textile and the world market. Around the 1750s, before the British conquered Bengal, India was having the huge market in the international level, and they were selling their textile goods to the European countries. As you all of you know that India have even the trade with the Southeast Asia like Java, Sumatra and Penang, even in Central Asia. During the 16th century, European traders were buying the goods from India and selling to them in a European market for the huge profit. And these memories are very interesting to be understand, because if you understand these memories of the 16th 17th century of the Indian textile, then you will understand some interesting words and their history. So let us see what are these words and what they mean. Words tell us histories. European traders first encountered fine cotton cloth from India carried by Arab merchants in Mosul. At present day it is in Iraq. So they began referring to all fine woven textile as muslin. When the Portuguese first came to India in search of the spices, they landed in Calicut on the Kerala coast in southwest India. The cotton textile which they took back to Europe along with the spices came to be called calico. It is derived from the Calicut, and subsequently calico became the general name for all cotton textiles. English East India Company sent to its representatives in Calcutta in 1730. The order that year was for 5,89,000 pieces of cloth. Browsing through the order book, you would have seen a list of 98 varieties of cotton and silk cloth. Among the pieces ordered in bulk were printed cotton cloth called seens, koses or khasa, and bandhana. From the 1680s, there started a craze for printed Indian cotton textiles in England and European countries for their exquisite flower designs, fine textures, and relative cheapness. Rich people of England, including the Queen herself, wove the cloth of Indian fabric. Similarly, the word bandhana now refers to any brightly colored and printed scarf for the neck or head. Originally, the term derived from the word bandhana, it means tying, and referring to the variety of the brightly colored cloth produced through a method of tying and dyeing in European market. Early 18th century, Indian textiles were having the great popularity in European market, especially in England. So, England wools and silk makers started protesting to the Indian goods, and because of that, British government passed the legislation to ban the printed cotton in Britain, that is the Singhs, and this act is known as the Calico Act in the 1720s. As you know that industrial revolution just began to the Britain and they were unable to compete with the Indian textiles. Another thing that they want to secure their market, and that's why they want to stop the entering of the Indian textiles to the Britain. Another thing is that they also started to copying the designing and imitating the design of the Indian goods on the white silk and the bleached cloth, and this kind of the way they want to do the competition to the Indian textiles, and the competition need to search for the technology. As you all of you know that the spinning jenny, which was invented in the 1764 by John Kay, had increased the productivity of the cotton textiles. And another thing is that Richard Arkwright, he also invented the steam engine, which given the immense production in the textile industries and have the cheap rate. This kind of the way British or revolution or British industrialization started the huge production of the textiles. But then also there is a great demand in the world market of the Indian textile, because the French, Dutch, Portuguese, British were buying the raw material from India and selling them to the European market, and in returns they were giving the silvers to the. Unfortunately, in the 1757, the battle between the East India Company and Sirajuddaula Nawab, the leader of the British East India Company was that Robert Clive, and here the Battle of Plassey was conquered by East India Company and Sirajuddaula lost the war, and because of that East India Company got the political rights, and because of that they started to collect the revenues and taxes, and through that collection they started to buy the raw materials from India, and in this way they started to exploit the Indians and make the India as a colony, and in this way the Indian textiles were declined. Who were the weavers? Weavers are the communities that are specialized in weaving. This weaving skill were passing from one generation to the next generation. There are some famous communities. The Tanti weavers of Bengal, the Zulas or Momin weavers of North India, Sale and Kaikollar and Devang of the South India. Such a communities are very famous in weaving the cloth. First step of the weaving is the spinning, and it was done mostly on the charkha with takri. It was done by the women. Once the thread was completed, it was turned into the cloth by the men. If you want to a colorful cloth, then the thread was colored by the people, those who are dyeing the color, and they were known as the rangares. Another thing is that if you want a printed cloth, the printing blocks were made by the craft people in India, and they that is called the chipigars. Chipigars is a very famous concept of the printing the designing on the cloth, and directly or indirectly there are the many peoples were engaged, millions of people were engaged in this profession.